Hello, and welcome to Heineken's Tech Insights, your podcast from Heineken Krakow. Throughout this podcast, we'll be sharing insights and learnings from some of Heineken's top specialists who are shaping the digital future of Heineken. Join us to meet our experts, gain valuable knowledge, and see how what happens in Krakow goes around the world. I'm Mateusz Komander, your host, and today we'll be continuing our discussion from last episode about accredited training organization and how we set this up within Heineken Krakow. So my guest again is Bartosz.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Bartek. Happy to see you again.
Happy to see you again, too.
Okay, let's jump in. So last time we've discussed a little bit how the path to get to accredited training organization look like. What is the importance of ITIL? We didn't focus much on your second scope of DevOps training, but
they are quite close, so no worries.
Okay, nevertheless, looking a little bit of practice, because it's always nice to hear about theory, but many of our listeners may ask ourselves, okay, it's nice to hear about theory, but what is the practice? So is there anything or any case study that maybe you would like to share, or maybe you have within your sleeves that can show the impact of implementing and following the ITIL, following the DevOps? Is there anything you would like to add here?
Well, there are many examples actually, but I think one really stands out. It was in my previous company actually, and unfortunately, we could implement. It's about the IT security management practice. We could implement it after a huge security incident happened. Not because of us, because maybe let's start from the beginning. I was then accountable for a huge German contract from the manufacturing. We delivered many services, many processes to that customer, but unfortunately the customer didn't take care and didn't want to take care about the IT security management practice, which is actually one of the crucial ones. And the case was about a hacker attack which happened on the 12th of December 2020. I will remember the date until the last day of my life. I was then the manager of duty, so I was waiting, just if anything happened, then I would be available via mobile. And unfortunately, it happened. It was Sunday. I was shopping and I got a call from the major incident manager stating, "Hi, Bartek, we have a security incident for that customer." And I said, "Okay, let me go back. I will be home in about 30 minutes. Then when I switched on the laptop, I joined the call. It was a disaster. There were over 100 people in the call, just shouting, yelling at each other. Anything was done there. But what happened was there was that hacker attack, so a security incident, because I cannot share all the information, but the initial point was that the customer, they just didn't want to take care and they didn't pay attention to IT security management practice. They basically just skipped that part for their company. So they had zero solutions for firewalls, nothing. Just the basic ones, just the antivirus, and that's it. They didn't want anything from us. It was a huge risk, and 1 year before, I sent a risk letter to the customer describing the situation, what are the risks, what can happen if the risk materialize, what are the counteractions, stuff like that. And the customer said, no, I accept the risk. So I said, yes, please sign the letter. So 1 year after the risk materialized and the hacker attack happened, and the whole infrastructure for that company went down. Nothing worked. Everything was stopped. Even the mobile phones, nothing worked. Really nothing. And it took us over 3 months to from the backups, of course, to
Restore,
to restore only the critical services.
Oh, wow.
Only the critical ones, because overall the restoration took us 1 year and a half. And the state, of course, was not the same as before, because and another issue there was that some of the backups were on the side of the customer, the critical ones, because they said, no, for those we will be responsible, not you. And of course, which backups didn't work, those. So that's what can happen if you don't pay attention to the proper service management, in that case, IT security management. And after that, and now going back to your question, after that, the customers started thinking, okay, what should we change and how should we change? And that's where ITIL and DevOps actually as well came to their minds, and we started working on the service management with them. First, of course, we implemented IT security management, major incident management as well, because it was only partially implemented for that customer. But the biggest, if I can say, the biggest win from that situation was actually for the other German customers, because then after that happened, they started thinking, okay, maybe we should do the gap analysis for us as well, do the assessment, and we should check what's out of support, what's out of warranty. And then they started working on implementing such practices as well.
Okay, so on one hand, a little bit about the negligence in the approach in the security. That was one of the core aspects. But second topic is the problems or lack of the processes supporting anything around that. Yeah, and then I understand that ITIL and DevOps are giving you the tools to follow up, to support that approach, and also to check it, for example, regularly. Yeah, and then by checking it regularly, quite often, something that many of us may not necessarily pay attention are different documentation parts.
Now you started the topic, the real one. Well, the documentation topic it's a struggle, I think, for every company, because it's always a huge issue within the companies to work on the documentation. And I've seen many situations when the documentation didn't even exist.
Yes, I do know that struggle. I think sometime few years back when I was working in different company already, I was on one hand frustrated, on second hand, I really understood when you are having the documents and the document is stating, you need to do this and this check-ins every year, this and this check-ins every 6 months, for example, and it's so frustrating because sometimes when you are working on those, you are not really feeling an impact of that.
I agree.
But then when the service managers are on board and they are following the process, they are actually really need this, knowing when something happened and knowing when something should happen.
Exactly. Well, the crucial and the funny part here is it should be not only it should be done, but it should be done regularly.
Exactly.
Not only when, let's say, an audit comes, but it should be done, and it should be also described in the procedures, policies, processes, whatever. It should be described there how often we do it and how we do it. So like a very structured and disciplined approach.
Yeah. And I think that also, speaking about the documentation, we actually had a very nice, a little bit funny from my side discussion, how I perceived that. is about the language, yeah, and about the documentation. I think you've mentioned, and you actually cleared me a little bit here. Thank you for that. I will try not to make that mistake later on. But also, there is one of the learning points when people are approaching the trainings are how to build and agree upon SLAs. And you mentioned that SLA is exactly not really what people thinks.
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the wow effects after the training or during the trainings. When I ask people, okay, what is the takeaway for you from the training? One of the points they always mention are SLAs, because what we in our normal like work life understand as SLAs, these are something completely different in ITIL, because ITIL says that SLAs are, so service level agreements, are only the written statements and agreements between the service provider and the service consumer. So this is basically the contract. And what we understand in our life as SLAs are actually in the ITIL language service levels, which are those things which are described in the SLA. So you should deliver those services or servers or disk or whatever within the availability of 99.99% for 365 days a year.
Yeah.
So these are service levels, and we understand them as service level agreement, which is wrong, because service level agreements are, as I mentioned, only the contracts.
Exactly. So this is a very nice takeaway. So the thing that with the, again, circling back to our last episode, that you, with the trainings and with the practical approaches, we can start introducing the unified language about what we are actually speaking about. Yeah.
Yes.
But then maybe moving a little bit into the wrap-up area. So we had a nice example of what does it mean lack of processes behind support. How does it can impact very severely a huge company. But at the same time, if someone is not there yet, let's say I'm now within a company, bigger or smaller, and my support is a little bit, or my processes around the IT support and supporting my customers are a little bit ad hoc, and how we feel good. Where do you think that someone who's listening, where someone should start with applying the principles and the practices from ITIL and DevOps, for example? Where is the best place to start with?
Well, it will depend on the situation, but I think that the best overall and general approach would be to start with such a principle as keep it simple and practical. So look at it from your perspective, look at it from the perspective of the recipient. So like build that end-to-end perspective in your mind and start thinking if it brings value or not. If there, let's say if it's a process, if it's about a process which has, let's say 10 stages or 10 steps. And if you see that actually you need maybe 7 steps within the process to accomplish the same, those 3 which are not necessary should be eliminated because it's a waste. So you can start with that. Just keep it simple and practical and have the bigger picture in mind, if it brings value or not. So what's the value? I would start with the question, what is the value, or what kind of value should it bring?
What value we are delivering and working on in that regard. So map the whole process, the value stream. I already mentioned that before. And focus on improving that, yes?
Yeah, that could be one of the approaches.
Okay, so Bartosz, maybe to slowly wrap it up, if maybe not necessarily one sentence, probably it won't be one, but maybe in like one phrase or one statement, if you could maybe narrate a little bit, in your opinion, what might be the benefits, or what is the benefits for Heineken Krakow to be the accredited training organization, and what is the benefits of Heineken Krakow being those for the employees?
Okay. So the biggest benefits of having the ATO within the organization, so offering ITIL for DevOps Foundation trainings, Pre-to-Agile as well, of course, come from the fact that they actually complement each other. So ITIL 4 gives you governance, gives you stability, clarity and structure, and DevOps gives you speed, automation, continual improvement. And if you combine them, you can have a really nice approach and really nice picture and future for the company. And for the people themselves, it's actually a game changer, not only internally within the organization, because as we mentioned before, they start collaborating, they start seeing pain points, bottlenecks. They start eliminating waste. So that's the internal part, but it's also a game changer for the external part, meaning those are certifications which are recognized internationally, worldwide. It's always a nice have, basically, in the curriculum.
So they are a little bit then better fitted for potentially for other opportunities careers.
Of course.
But for us, if someone would be looking this career at Heineken, this is at Heineken Krakow specifically, I'm speaking. So someone who is joining outside from outside into Heineken, we are actually delivering those trainings, but also we are covering the costs of certifications, being the accredited training organization.
Exactly. The trainings are free of charge for the employees because we pay for them as HGSS Kraków. And they additionally have, it's called Take Two. So in case of a failure during the exam, they have the second attempt free of charge.
Okay.
It's like a psychological safety for them.
Exactly. So technically speaking, this is a very huge benefit for all of our employees, that actually this costs, which the certificate in the exam is quite heavy. I recall this is actually covered and actually delivered by us.
Yes, exactly. It's covered by AGSS.
Okay. Thank you, Bartosz. Thank you for being my guest within this last 2 episodes. It was very great having you here.
Thank you very much, Joe. It was a pleasure.
So kudos on moving forward with the ATO. I hope we will be able to collaborate a little bit more in the future.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, in the last 2 episodes, we've learned how accredited training organization, how ITIL, DevOps, and other frameworks might help Heineken Krakow scale agility with confidence. Bartosz showed us that this isn't just about trainings and certifications, but also implementing this in practice. From persistence in getting approvals from his point of view to practical tips like mapping value streams, this story proves that capability building is a strategic enabler of transformation. To stay connected, be sure to subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, and follow Heineken Global Shared Services on LinkedIn. And remember, here at Heineken, we are always looking for rising stars who are ready to make an impact. If you are interested in joining us, you can explore our open positions at heinekenkrakow.pl. We'll be back with more insights from Heineken's agile and digital transformation journey, showing how what happens in Krakow goes around the world. Join us next time to keep learning, growing, and adapting.